The insurance industry is hard to get into on your own, and just having access to markets is not enough to help you succeed in this new workplace. Times are rapidly changing, and without the proper support, it is difficult to compete. And not all groups are made the same. You need one that can get you directly on the pathway to your success. In this video, we're going to share with you what to look for when considering the different agency groups that offer a career as an insurance agent or producer. Make sure you stick around till the end because Jamie is sharing with us his list of 15 things to look for when finding an insurance group. Today, we have Jamie Bricko, our Managing Director of National Sales at Insurance Centers of America. Jamie, can you please share with our audience why it is so important to do your research when looking for the perfect insurance group?
Absolutely, Violet. Thank you for that introduction. Over the last 15 years of my career, I have had an opportunity to work with a lot of large groups and different agencies that offer an opportunity for a career for insurance agents and professionals. So of the different groups that are out there and producers, they're not all the same. They don't all offer the same things. Some of them offer just a couple things that you might need to be successful. Some may offer everything that you need. What's rare is to find a group that offers everything that you need to be successful the way that you would like to earn the income that you'd like to see in this profession. And so what we'd like to do is talk about today the things that you really want to look for in finding the right place, the right agency, the right group, the right cluster, organization that can put you on the pathway to success as an insurance professional. Over the 15 years that I've been in this career and that I've been working with large agencies and groups, I've had an opportunity to compile a list of things that I would ask everybody that you talk to that's looking to try to bring you into the industry and help you. Because you'll find as you ask these questions that a lot of these things are not offered. Some of them are, some of them are not. And so what I would do is I would ask these questions. And if you find that the group that you're talking to does not provide a lot of these things, that's a red flag. And I would probably move on to the next opportunity or the next group or the next organization. So to start off, you want to find an organization that can actually put you on the pathway to success. Here's actually a comprehensive list of things that you want to ask and look for. And by the way, when you're doing this, ask details around these questions and find out more. If they say no, or if they say, yeah, we might offer that, get more details around it. And I might provide some of that context as I go through this. So one of the first things I would ask is, do you offer comprehensive education and training? And that's a question that you would want to ask the group, because if you're coming into the industry and you do not have prior insurance experience, you are going to need support. There's some organizations that provide very robust education and training around how to learn coverages, do risk assessment, fill out an application, work with different carriers, understand how underwriters work. And there's lots that don't do any of that at all, and they leave it just up to you. Another thing that I would definitely check for is to make sure that you also have ongoing back office support, or in other words, account managers that can actually help you through the process. Because once you go through education, that's one part. You still won't know everything that you need to know to be able to be successful and go out to maybe say a commercial lines contractor and get all the right information and be able to quote it with the right carriers and then actually write the policy and get paid the commissions without further support. And so you want to ask the agency if they have back office account manager support that you can reach out to and have hold your hand through the process. Another really important thing is lead generation. Here, we like to call it sales generation. You want to ask the agency or the group that you're working with if they've got a comprehensive sales generation program that not only helps you get leads and prospects that might be a good opportunity for you to work with, but also the framework on how to get those prospects to the point where they trust you, and then in turn actually want to do business with you. And most companies, they offer lead lists. There's a lot of companies out there that you can buy leads and prospects from, but they're not really effective if there's not a framework around on how to actually build those relationships of trust that will help you to actually be able to do business with them. Do they provide the kind of agency management system support that you would need to be able to organize your business and your clients and your documentation? A really good agency is going to have a very sharp, well-known agency management system to help you be able to keep things in order and have the right documentation, and then also provide you with a comparative rater that helps you to put in the information for a quote one time, but then get a quote from several different carriers, helping you to save time. This technology is important. Some carriers offer it, some carriers don't. If the company that you're talking to or the agency that you're talking to does have this technology, ask them how much does it cost? Because guess what? Lots of them will charge you for it. It doesn't come for free, but some will offer it at no cost. Do they provide a comparative rater? A comparative rater allows you to be able to go in, put the information for the quote in one time, and get the rate from several different carriers so you can see which carrier is best. That puts you in a really, really good position as an independent agent to be able to compete, especially against the captives that do not have that same opportunity. Let's say you want to probably check into is Easy Links. It's very, very popular. It's highly effective. And if the group or the agency that you're working with does not have that opportunity, it might be a little bit of a red flag. Now, we talked a little bit about carrier support markets. That's really, really important. You know, we talked about kind of I think at the beginning of this conversation, that sometimes that's the only thing that some agencies will offer is markets. And that's really, really important. Unfortunately, some groups only offer that, and there's nothing else that they offer. But so you definitely do want to ask questions around the carriers that they have. How many carriers do they have? Do they have commercial lines carriers? Do they have personal lines carriers? Do they have the opportunity for you to write life insurance? Do they have carriers that help you to also do, some of the group benefits? Ask all of those questions. And in property and casualty especially, you want to ask a lot of questions around how many carriers they actually have. Do they have enough choice to put you in a position to be competitive? That's going to be an important thing. If they only have a few carriers, that's another red flag. So another thing around carriers that you really want to make sure that you ask in talking about getting more detail is, do they have the preferred carriers, the standard carriers that are direct bill? And do they also have the surplus lines carriers that help you to write the more complex specialty type risks? Making sure that they've got both of those types of carriers is really, really important to help you have the full opportunity to make sure that you can capture that customer with the carriers that you have. So there's some things around the costs and the overhead in getting into a position to be able to be an agent or a producer in the insurance industry. And one of those is the cost that an agency or a group might ask you to put up front as a franchise fee, or they may call it something else. But some actually ask you to put a lot of money up front just to be a part of their organization. Now, it's not necessarily a red flag if they're asking you to put money up front, because sometimes you do have to invest in your career, but sometimes they're asking you to invest a lot of money. Like I've seen some organizations ask for as much as $25,000 up front, and they're not getting very much for that $25,000. So it's a lot of overhead and there's not a lot of return there. And that's something that I would definitely watch out for. Ask a lot of questions around fees. Some companies will also ask you, besides the upfront fee, ask you to begin to start monthly fees right off the bat, even before you've made a commission. Now, that to me would be something that would be pretty concerning, and I would have a hard time signing on with a company or an agency that would want me to do that. Now, another really, really important thing that I think is probably on a lot of tenured agents' minds is the ownership of their book. Now, one of the things that happens is once you start to write business with an agency, some of those agencies keep that book of business. So if you were to leave, say a year later, and you wrote maybe $1 million in written premium, and you have, say, 1,000 customers, some of the agencies that are out there, some of the groups, when you try to leave, they won't let you take that book of business with you. You don't own that book of business. You want to ask a lot of questions around whether or not the business that you write is actually yours, or you can actually have control over it. Some groups will take that business from you when you leave. So look at that, ask about it, look at the contract and how they have that worded in their contract. You want to be able to have some ownership. Sometimes it's not 100% ownership, but at least some ownership in the book of business that you have spent so much time building. You definitely want to be able to walk away with that and have a legacy and have something that is of worth that you can sell or hand down to your family. I think that another thing that's really important is around the different bonuses and incentives that some agencies offer and some agencies do not offer. Profit share. Lots of agencies will earn quite a bit of profit share by writing a business that is highly profitable and by writing a lot of business with a specific carrier. And if they have a really good year where they're profitable, they can see a lot of profit share. Some agencies will share this with their producers and agents. Ask this question, be very specific about it. Ask, if I am profitable and I write enough business with the particular carriers that we both do business with, will I be able to see some of that profit share? I think it's a hugely important thing because it's on top of commissions. Those bonuses can really make a difference in your income. So I would ask about that because chances are, if it's an agency that does pay that, it will help you tremendously in helping to build your revenue. If they don't, I myself probably would not sign on with that group. The financial piece is, of course, checking to see what the commission splits are. Lots of groups are trying to cut commissions. If you look at the captive world, unfortunately, some of the captive carriers are cutting commissions, and that makes it really difficult for agents and producers to be successful. So ask what those commission splits look like and ask specifically for new business, what will I get? What percentage of the commission from the carrier will I actually get? And at renewal, is there also a renewal commission? And what does that renewal commission look like? I would definitely look for a high renewal commission. Lots of groups, agents, they like to try to pay a lower renewal commission, but those renewals are very, very important. I would ask about that and try to get the best renewal commissions that you possibly can. So one last thing that I would ask about is whether or not the agency or group that you're looking at to do business with requires that you sign a non-compete or a non-solicit. This can put you in a pretty bad position when you decide to part ways, or if you do decide to part ways. Inevitably, there's going to be a time in your career or something may happen where you decide you want to change. And if you are not able to talk to your customers that you've built up over the years with the agency that you have started to work with, if you're not able to solicit those customers or go back to them and have the opportunity to then bring them with you over to the new position that you're in or to the new group that you're with, that can be really damaging to your career, especially if you spend a lot of time building up a really good book of business with a lot of really good customers. You really want to have the opportunity to be able to solicit those customers. Now, it's not necessarily bad to have a non-solicit or a non-compete. Sometimes that's going to be very standard in contracts, but ask details around that so that you can see if you can negotiate a way to be able to, at least if they contact you, the customers, you can do business with them. Some carriers, some companies, some groups don't want you to be able to talk to those customers at all. They want to keep all of them. And that can be damaging to your career as you look at transitioning if you do ever get to that point.
Wow, Jamie, thank you so much. Your 15 years of experience is such a huge value to the whole team here at Insurance Centers of America. And as promised, we have this list of questions for you to ask on your search for the perfect insurance agency. You can click the link below to download your list today. And if you would like to learn more about the opportunity with Insurance Centers of America, we even have his information listed for you below. Thank you so much for watching. That's all we have for you today. If you enjoyed this video and got tremendous value, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never have to miss another tip on how to grow your agency in this new workplace.